This is the Back Row Cincinnati Bengals show, all brought to you by fansided.com. Head on over there, read some blogs about your AFC champion, yet Super Bowl runner up, Cincinnati Bengals, on a sad Tuesday. I regret to inform you, you probably already heard, but I regret to inform you that the Bengals have lost 23-20 to the Los Angeles Rams. And here to break down the grievance, the sadness, the absolute disappointment is, of course, one of my greatest friends, Strawberry Eyes, Jeff Trentapool. Jeff, bring
Okay.
us your sports view from a West Side point of view.
I'm
Please.
depressed now listening to that.
Terrible, man.
Well, like I said, yeah, it's I'm getting to the point where I'm getting beyond being depressed, and I'm looking forward to the future. And I'm trying to look back on what a great season that we had. And yes, if this happens or that happened, yada yada, we could have won the Super Bowl. It's depressing, but the future is so bright with this team. And I just said this on my show. We fix this offensive line. The sky's the limit, dude. The sky is the limit with Jackpot Joey Burrow, Chase, T. Higgins, Mixon, this defense. And the thing is, we didn't talk about this on my show. We got Joseph Osai coming back next year.
Yep,
We didn't even hit on
huge.
that.
Huge.
So,
Yep.
yeah. So the future is so bright
Mhm.
with this team. So that's what I'm trying to, it's Tuesday. We're a couple days past it. Trying to look forward. We got free agency coming up March 15th. I can't wait. I'm going to find out who we're going to sign, see what's going on. So
Yep.
I'm trying to look at the brighter side of life, Josh.
Yeah, you know what? Let's start out with the brighter side of life before we get really dark and disturbed. So let's start out with the fun things. Let's start out with some free agency talk, and like you said, Joseph Osai coming back. That's going to be a huge perk to this defense that already has a very scary pass rush. I mean, Joseph
Mm-hmm.
Osai looks like he's got a motor that does not quit. I'm so excited to see how he's like when he is back. Then also on top of that, we have the main core. Pretty much the main part of this entire defense is coming back. We think and again, Jeff, you and I have talked about this. We think that you attack your offensive line of free agency, and um, you're going to attack your defense on the draft.
Secondary.
And we said, yeah, on your secondary, and let's go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and let's go get a cornerback, and hopefully again keep Kobe Bryant here. We got to say what's up to Crypt Keeper and Hoskins for jumping in.
What's up,
And
boys? Long time no see.
if you're watching on Twitter, that is great. I appreciate that. But if you want to get involved and send some comments, talk a little bit, grieve with us, all this sort of thing, you got to head over to the YouTube channel, which is the same exact name as the Twitter page. So just do the Back Row Cincinnati Bengals show. Hop on over there and comment on and get involved. But anyway, Jeff, let's get involved with again these free agency that we keep talking about here. Obviously, the biggest part that we have to address is the offensive line, and you and I have kind of talked about it a little bit. I want to address that center and that tackle position. You want to go for the entire right side of the line, Jeff. I
Mhm.
want you to talk about where do you see this free agency going?
Well, like I said, I'm hoping March 15th. I've glanced at the free agents. I haven't written down, but I know there's multiple guards out there that PFF has very high rankings on them. I didn't see a lot of tackles, but like I said, I haven't really got to look at every single thing yet as much as I would at this time normally, because normally we've been looking at this since December, but
Right. Yeah.
we're
Right.
in the Super Bowl, so we haven't got a chance to do that yet. So yeah,
Exactly.
I am more of I would like to get a guard and a tackle, either right or left. Because if you get a left tackle, like I said, you can move Jonah over to right. I'm really hoping the center from Iowa is going to be there. Long shot, we'll see what happens. But either way, I would like going into the draft. I want the right side fixed. And if you sign Riley Reef, I'm okay with that too, because I think he did a really stand up good job for us this year. Again, I would almost prefer a younger guy, so an established guy that right side. This guy is gonna be our right tackle for the next 5 years or whatever. And Riley Reef, God love him. He's only got maybe another year or two, to play.
Mhm.
Now Whitworth is 40 years old. He kept playing, so that doesn't, let's not make the same mistake that we did. If Riley Reef is still good, go sign him. And
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. So you re-sign Reef, you get a right guard, and like we talked about before, we both are in agreement that Jax Carman, I think, and we think, can be a good serviceable guard for us in the future. I'm not willing
Right.
to say mark it down. He's our starting right guard next year. 2 or 3 years down the line, maybe. But I want
Mhm.
that right side fixed, and I would like I said, a center would be nice, but I'm not totally against Trey Hopkins coming back again. But if we can get another
Yep.
center, that would be fine too. But I really think we need a right guard and a right tackle. And
Yeah,
then,
some
good.
Yep. Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, something's got to change. Obviously, I mean, obviously, when you watch in the game and through the postseason, where the offensive lines play significantly got worse. I mean, obviously, 9-6 against Tennessee, and then obviously here 5 sacks in the
7.
Super Bowl. Absolutely, or seven. It
7.
was
Yeah.
seven,
I know.
seven. Bad, bad,
Mhm.
and it's unacceptable. It's hindered this offense. Now that being said, again, this offense has hindered itself just by imploding both even in, within Joe Burrow and within the receivers as well. So it's not just the offensive line. Joe Burrow has made some mistakes too. That's something that I've yet to really hear yet. I mean, Joe Burrow had a good game. He did not play that he should have. Honestly, Joe had a pretty average to below average game in the Super Bowl, and especially when it started, it was really, and that was shocking that he played. It was his worst PFF graded game that he's had all season. He plays it in the Super Bowl. That's something that I did not see coming.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Joe got off to a bad start. I mean, my son Prince Ice pointed that out when we started, when the game started, that he was a little off. He got I think he got more comfortable. I won't say he got better. He got more comfortable as the game went on. But the problem is, and I hate keep saying the same thing, but when you only give up 1 sack in the first half and then you give up 6 in the second half,
Mhm.
your accuracy is going to be under pressure. Being under pressure, it's going to affect your accuracy. It's going to. It has to. I mean, it just is what it is. So do I put this on Joe? No, but Joe could have played better. Yes, Joe even said he could have played
Yep.
better. He should have played better. So is the loss on Joe? No. Could have Joe played better? Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And you and I kind of talked about it on your show, when you talk about this game specifically, you don't necessarily point to one specific
Right.
instance. You point to, I mean, in this game, I could point to about 5 or 6 of them.
Mhm.
One that we didn't really bring, another one. So we didn't really bring up Joe Burrow's play that much on your
Right.
podcast. Another
Mhm.
one we didn't bring up was that horrendous officiating down the stretch, which was horrible. Again, I am a guy, I don't like to blame officiating. I think it's just, it's just a part of the game. It just is what it is. That holding call on Logan Wilson has got to be one of the most laughable, disgusting, horrible calls made in a Super Bowl. Terrible.
I mean,
Terrible. I mean,
the thing is, Josh, T.
how do
Higgins,
you call that?
well, the thing is, they were letting him play. T. Higgins in the first half, let's be honest, the touchdown he got, he face masked the hell out of Ramsey. He did.
Sure.
They
Yeah.
let it go. You wait till the last minute and a half of the game to start throwing flags. I hate that.
Mhm.
I absolutely hate that, because it's like, all right, the players are like, okay, this is how you're going to call it. Okay, cool. You're going to let us play. Fine. But you're going to do it all up to the last minute and a half?
The
Come on.
consistency. Yeah. No,
Yeah, all they want is consistency.
consistency.
If that's the way you're going to call it that way to the end of the game. Now,
Yep.
the flag on Eli Apple was a flag. I agree with
Mhm.
that one. But if Logan Wilson, they don't call that flag, it's 4th and 6. It made it a 1st and goal. 4th and 6.
Yeah,
That's a
fourth
huge
and sixth with
call.
no, it was the call, because you felt as if this defense was gonna make a stand, like, you
Right.
felt that,
They
and then
did. And then
obviously
the
they
refs blew
did.
it.
Heard
Right.
it it's because here was the thing with that. I mean, Louis Anarumo, the now, to be fair, you can look in that entire drive, that entire defensive drive. It's a 15-play drive where obviously the Bengals did not put nearly enough pressure on Cooper
Right.
Kupp as they did. The Rams went to him 8 times,
Mhm.
8 times on that drive. And it's almost like Louis Anarumo was like, all right, we're gonna play until you get inside the 20 and we're gonna stop you. And that has worked for the Bengals. That being said, how do you not take away Cooper Cup
Yeah.
and force them to either run the ball or go somewhere else where OBJ isn't even playing? He
Mhm.
tore his ACL. It was not set up better for the Bengals to capitalize on. We talked about it. What is one thing that the Bengals are going to have to do? It is going to have to be take away the Rams' best guy. Their
Mhm.
best guy was Cooper Cup, and they went to perform 8 for 8 on the final drive that beat the Bengals.
And the thing is Lou did that in the Kansas City game. They took away Travis Kelsey. It took away Tyreek Hill. They didn't do anything in the second half. I mean, Cooper Cup, and they were like going to go to him no matter what. And like I said, I give all the credit in the world to Lou Anarumo on that defense. If it wasn't for that defense, we would have been anywhere close to the Super Bowl. But you got to double team Cooper Cup. You got to make somebody else on that offense beat you. And if it does, then it does. You cannot let Cooper Cup beat you. In two things, Cheetah Bay at least should have been on him.
Yeah.
Then you should have double teamed him. You got to double team him. And the other thing is too is we got like no pressure whatsoever in that second half on Stafford, and that's where next year we're getting Joseph Osai. I think it's going to help, and it's going to take some pressure off Sam Hubbard. Going to take some pressure off Trey Hendrickson. Just getting another rotational guy in there, so that's going to help. But that's where it comes down to the end. Like in the Kansas City game, we shut them down so much. It's not like we got a ton of pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Our secondary locked them down where Patrick Mahomes had nowhere to go with the ball. Our secondary didn't do that in this game. That's the difference. And it's either you double and that's when they only had Cooper Cup. That's all they had. One guy.
Yep. And I mean, I gotta say one thing about the Bengals defense. They really were incredible in the run game. They stacked
absolutely. DJ Reader balled out.
So you got to be. I mean, so you got to find a way to push that back inside. One of their ways is taking away their top guy, and the Bengals just didn't do that. I mean, and again, credit Cooper Cup's one of the best in the league, and
absolutely.
And that's what's got to be remembered, especially when you go back all the way down the field, and Eli Apple still finds himself on Cooper Cup one-on-one. A lot of y'all, a lot of Bengals Twitter and around the league, and rightfully so, wants to dump all over Eli Apple. I understand that. He deserves a good amount of it, but he should have never have been on Cooper Cup. We talked about this back and forth quite a bit. The Bengals or Eli Apple is a second string corner. It's just what he is.
That's what he's supposed to have been here.
That's what
Wayne's was supposed to be our
love you too, Charles.
Yeah, love you too, Charles. Wayne's is supposed to be our number one
Wayne's
guy.
Supposed to be there, right?
So I mean, Eli Apple's never supposed to be, but he played really good this year.
Played way past his potential, right? Exactly, and people forget that's why he's still there, and that's why he's so relevant and why he's been so loud on Twitter. And I get it. And like I said, as long as we're winning.
Yeah, I mean, which Eli Apple. I mean, everybody's dumping on Eli Apple on Twitter. He was talking a lot of smack before, so
he was. He deserves it.
Yeah, you're gonna talk it like you did before.
He knows.
And you play like that, you got to take it. So
he knows.
That's kind of on him. So
he knows. Yep. But that being said, that should have never have happened.
No,
that
he should have been on him.
Right. Yeah. Anybody else should have been on. But to be fair, that being said, anybody else, any other corner in the NFL against Cooper Cup one-on-one in the corner of the end zone, I mean, is going to lose that match. So I mean, let's not be like, oh, Eli Apple got mossed. Most of the NFL would have.
Right.
So let's ease it back here.
One thing I want to talk about too. Let's talk about the first touchdown that OBJ got. It was against Eli Apple. Yep. And the thing is, if you watch that play, Eli Apple has his hand in there. OBJ switches it from one hand to the next in a second. And if he just would have kept it in the left hand, I think it was, Apple rips it out. I mean, it was that close. Like everything I keep saying, that close. That's how close the Bengals were to making plays. They just didn't. All the plays that they, that's what hurts. All the plays
that's
they made.
That's what hurts the most.
Yeah, all the plays they made in the playoffs that won our way. I can't even say they didn't all go our way because we got the turnover battle. We got the interceptions. It's just when it came down to crunch time, they just didn't make the plays that they did before to win the games.
Right. Their execution lacked, especially on the final two drives, because let's be honest, even when the Rams scored a touchdown, you're thinking on that back in your mind, oh, wait, the Rams missed a field goal and we're only down by 3. Right. So, and everybody in my house and everybody, I went, all right, everybody would be like, we're fine. Like, we can do this. It's a minute 28 with 2 timeouts left. I'm like, this is what we're made for. This is it right here. This is why you have Joe Burrow. This is why you drafted Jamar Chase. And this is why you're already in the Super Bowl. But obviously the execution just lacked. And it just continued from the final 5 drives. And again, credit to the Rams defense. They have a great defense. I'm not saying that.
No.
That being said, the shots were open. The Bengals had chances all the way down the field. and play calling and execution late down the stretch killed this team.
Get that
Killed it.
off. I'm going to bang this the whole time. Get that offensive line. I know I'm like a broken record, but you get that offensive line fixed and you give Joe Burrow time, he hits Chase. I
You
guarantee you he hits Chase. It's at least we're in field goal range, if not a damn touchdown.
well, it's a different. I mean, it's a different style offense, a different style ball.
Yeah, and then let's just look at when the offensive line held up against the Chiefs. What they did there. I mean, you can't deny when the offensive line holds up, this offense balls out. It does.
I agree. I
I
agree.
mean, that's just
I
where
agree.
I hate to sound like a broken record.
I
But
agree.
that's the biggest freaking thing in this offseason they got to fix is that damn offensive line. And I do not disagree with taking Jamar Chase. I don't. But
No,
it would have been nice if they could have gotten like Kevin Zeitler or somebody like that at right guard. I would rather had him, and draft Jackson Carman and let him develop. That would have been better. But they didn't do that. I don't know why they didn't do that because they really believed in Jackson Carman. And let's be honest. I mean, I've given Duke Tobin and everybody a lot of praise, but that was right now. That was a miss with Jackson Carman. You got to say that's a miss. I mean, you could have. But the thing is too, if they don't trade back, they don't get Evan McPherson. So, it's like they missed with him.
You can do the math. Right. You can do the math on that whole thing, and that could go into
that's why I hate Monday morning quarterback. If you did this, well, this would happen. If you did that, it's.
Yeah,
it is what it is. We lost.
I'm gonna play Monday morning head coach here and Monday morning play caller here. Twice they did this in the Super Bowl, which they have done this entire year and has not worked.
Mm-hmm.
It is the play that easily, if you went back through if you and I went back and went through all of our podcasts and said, what does Josh complain about the most? It is dives to Samaje Perine.
Mm-hmm.
It is the bane of my existence. It is something that has been holding this Bengals team back. And for some reason, Zach Taylor felt the need to run the ball with Samaje Perine on a 3rd and 1 in the Super Bowl with your best back that you just extended for 4 years, that is having a great game, that is getting hot. He's sitting on the sideline watching.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I
don't know why he's not there.
The guy that has been here before, an integral locker room guy, a guy that has been a part of nothing but reshaping and getting this franchise back to where it needs to be, and you give it to Samaje Perine. That is unacceptable. Borderline. I mean, I again, Zach Taylor went from 625-1 to where he is now,
11-6.
11-6. But if he would have pulled that shit in the regular season against Kansas City, or if he would have pulled that shit against the Raiders, people would consider it a fireable offense.
Yeah, I mean, one thing you brought up on my show, and this is something that worked a lot in the Kansas City Chiefs game, is the screens. We barely saw any screens. I don't know. I agree with you. I don't know why Samaje is in there. I don't disagree. If you give that ball to Mixon, I don't disagree with the call because it's 3rd and 1 or whatever, or 3rd and 2 or whatever it was.
Yeah, but running to the right side of the line where Aaron freaking Donald is,
right?
Probably not a smart either.
Probably not a smart idea.
Probably not smart idea.
It's just, I don't know why. Either way, Mixon should have been out there. I don't know why he wasn't. And I will. Yeah, you have to question Zach on that. Yes, he's done it all year. I don't know why he's done it. I don't have an answer. It hasn't. It's worked sometimes. More often than not, it hasn't. You're paying Mixon that kind of money. He's got to be out there on 3rd downs. That was the thing they said when they signed him and they let Giovanni Bernard go. That Mixon's going to be every down back. And he was for the most part, except for the biggest play of the season, and you don't put him in. So I agree with you, Josh. I don't know why he wasn't in there. He should have been.
Yep.
It's time to.
And listen, Samaje has had a good season this year. I'm not saying he hasn't. He is one of the reasons why we are in the Super Bowl. He made the play against Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm not saying that.
Right.
But we need to find another 2nd down back.
I want to. I want to see Chris Evans. I think.
Right. I think he's the guy. I do. And number 2, Joe Mixon has to be out there on third downs. For some reason, we feel the need to not have him out there on third downs. Joe Mixon is a bona fide third down back.
Absolutely.
Keep him in the game because then
Yeah.
teams still have to scheme around just him being in the game.
Right. No, like I said, I agree with you. And I think future wise, I think Chris Evans will be our third down back. But I do agree with you. Mixon should be out there. You're paying him to be out there. You know,
Yeah.
that's why you pay him the $11 million or whatever he's making this year, is to be an every down back. He wants to do it.
Mhm.
And I can't answer that, Joe. Why he's not out there, I don't know. You know, I would, but the thing is too, and I said this on my show, I wish that the replay refs would have at least taken a look at that spotting of the ball.
Spot.
See, because it looked, I mean, I don't think he got it.
Mhm.
I really don't think he got it, but it was so close. It's the Super Bowl. It's worth a review.
Right.
Worth taking a second look at it. It's the freaking Super Bowl. You got to get this stuff right. And that goes back to what we said about the flags at the end of the game.
Yep.
I don't understand. It's the Super Bowl. Why do you ref it one way the entire game, and then when it comes down to crunch time, then you decide to do something? Then you decide, oh, we got to get involved now. That doesn't make any sense. But then when you have a third and one, and you know he may or may not got it. Like again, I put my hand. I don't think he got it, but it's worth a review. Why do we have replay if we're not going to freaking use it, especially for the biggest play in the game for the Bengals?
Yeah, I think. Yep, that was it. I agree with you, but I mean, it could have been a stop the clock issue or kind of thing. Maybe they just didn't see it right away. I'm with you. It's the biggest game of the year. You might as well review it. I think again the most egregious non-review, and again, this is to be blamed on the Bengals coaching staff, which is why I think personally that's where most of the finger should go to. Is that the fact that on the first Jamar Chase giant play where he makes that ridiculous grab, he is not even close. He's not even close to touchdown on that play.
Yes.
He's not even close.
Yep.
And he gets to the 3-yard line
Mhm.
and they spot the ball at the 11-yard line
Mhm.
and there was no challenge for it.
Mhm.
And the Bengals ended up getting a field goal out of that. If you get a touchdown out of that, it is an entirely different ball game. The officiating crew missed it and the Bengals coaching staff missed it. And that is shameful.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you're going to put the blame on the coaching staff. They lost. I mean, you're going to put the blame on the team that loses. The players could have done something better. The coaching staff could have done something better. It's always going to go that way. And yes, you're right. They should have reviewed that. They should have threw a flag.
But that's egregious.
Threw it out.
That's
Yeah,
egregious. That's just not paying attention.
And the thing is, it's worth. See, I'm not exactly totally sure he didn't get touched because if the guy could have touched him, I have to go back and watch it again. But either way, it's worth a challenge. It's worth throwing it out there and see what happens. I mean, if you're going to go for it on fourth down in the middle of the field at the beginning of the game, and you're going to be that aggressive, why aren't you that aggressive in throwing the flag out there and see if you get the extra yards there? So that's the one issue that Zach has done a lot, where he's aggressive at some points, and then he kind of gets pulled back a little bit. And that's where I think he's gotten better at that as the season has gone along. But that for that instance right there, yeah, he should have threw the flag and see what happened.
Yeah, and yeah, right, absolutely, and you know that's Zach, and then that's a lot of the the upstairs of the offense coordinator and the game specialist and the defense coordinator for not catching that. That is just, I mean, it is criminal. But anyway, that being said, you mentioned one really huge part in the game is the Bengals going for it on the 50-yard line after they just stuffed the Rams. I wanted to get your opinion on the idea to go for it. For me personally, I was for it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. If you're going to win the game, you got to be aggressive. I said that. And while the play call wasn't my favorite, really wasn't my favorite call, I still like the idea of going for it there. You got to be aggressive. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It sucked not getting it, but
yeah, it sucked not getting it. I don't think, and the thing is, I was worried that it was going to come back to haunt us, and I don't really think it did. Yes, they ended up scoring on the next one, but we came back and scored. We had the lead going into the fourth quarter.
It was a forgettable part of the game.
Yes, so we had so many, and I love Marvin Lewis. We had him for so many years who would never go for it. I want a coach who's going to go for it, especially in the Super Bowl. This is it. You lose, you go home. You know, you're done. balls out, let's go for it. Let's try to get this, get this thing going
Yeah.
and get it to a fast start. And that's what they tried to do. They wanted to get to a fast start. Joe Burrow said that, and that's what I think a lot of that led to, trying to go for it on fourth down and trying to get that fast start, trying to get that lead first. And if it worked, great. It didn't. I'm still fine with going for it.
I'm definitely fine with going for it, and then also, I mean, I go back to this when when a fan base complains a lot about their coach being aggressive and not, or not being aggressive enough. When he is aggressive and he does do
Right.
things like that and it doesn't work, you cannot go back on your word and say he was
Exactly.
being too aggressive.
Mhm.
That is exactly what we have wanted him to do. If he would have
Right.
punted the ball and then they would have already went down and scored, it would have been a, oh, he should have gone for it. Oh, he
Right.
should have gone for
Yeah.
it.
That's
And
where I can't
I
stand
was fine with it. I'm
yeah.
not a fan of the play call though.
Yeah, that's where I can't stand the morning quarterback, because I'm like, everybody, because it's easy to complain about it because you know the outcome. you
Right.
know
Right.
that's one thing I just have a hard time with that, and I just get tired. Well, they should have done this. Well, of course you're going to say that because it didn't work. you
Right.
know
Right. Exactly.
so, but I will take a coach that goes for it every time. I want an aggressive coach. Now, I don't want as aggressive coach as the Chargers coach who went for it on
Yeah,
fourth
maybe
down
not.
like
Yeah,
five times and didn't get any of them. but
it's
be
criminal.
smart about it. I'll say that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, Jeff, we talk about it a little bit here, and one of the things about this game, and sorry guys, we're gonna have to go here probably about 5 minutes. So we're gonna try to wrap it up here soon.
The Bearcats are on, baby.
Bearcats are on, yeah, and we are. There's gonna be a quick little announcement after me and Jeff are done here.
Ooh.
But Jeff, I mean, like, what hurts worse, the loss in the Super Bowl or the fact that the season's over?
So you asked me that on my show. And I never thought about that. That's a really good question.
Mm,
And the more I've thought about it, it's yes, the loss hurts. It sucks, but it's the final, and what compounds that is the finalization of the season's over. We
mm,
had the greatest Bengal season we've had in 40 years, greatest Bengal season you've ever seen in your entire life.
mhm.
And that's what's so that sucks about it. It's bam, it's over. And,
Done.
we had so much fun tailgating at Bengal gyms and
Mhm.
hanging out, and you
Yep.
go doing the Stripe Squad
Mm,
and going on the road. I believe I did go and watch them beat Tennessee
mm.
and met so many people this year. And I mean, we had Kay Adams come there.
Yep.
We had Commissioner Yaz was there. We had so many people come from out of town to the game. Got to meet so many people,
Yep.
and it was so fun.
Yep.
And it's over,
It's over.
just like that. So
Just
yeah,
like that,
so
dude.
it's not, to me, it's not one or the other. It's more of a combination. It's got to be a combination of both. Yeah, it sucks we lost. I hate that, but it's a finality that it's done until next September. And I love summer. I want it to get warm. I'm tired of being cold, but I'll take the cold if we get to go through a bagel season like this and we finish it off next year with a Super Bowl victory.
Which is again like is two things that now not only Jeff are we predicting is going to happen, we're expecting it to we're
Yes,
expecting it to happen. We're
that's
expecting to be back. We're
that's
expecting
what's
to
so
be
cool.
the best in the AFC.
Mhm.
We're
That's what's so cool
expecting
about
to
the season.
yeah.
That's what
I
this
think
season brought.
yeah. Right. I think this season brought that. I think again having Joe Burrow as your quarterback does that for you. Like, as long as this guy is here, we know that our front office is going to be aggressive, and we are, and you know that the core is still here, and you think every single game you're going into, you're going to think you're the better team, you're going to win. And going into the AFC North, we called it. We're expecting to either sweep the division or, you know,
What
seven
we
and
did this
one,
year.
seven
Yeah,
one, 6-2.
right.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to bring with that's a good point what you said too is Jackpot Joey has not only changed the culture of this team, of this organization, he's changed everything about it. He's changed their thought process. I mean, he is so singly minded focused on one thing. He wants to win championships. And I think that has gotten to Mike Brown,
Yeah.
to change his thinking, to change the way they operate. I mean,
Mhm.
because Joe is in there. We need to get off its line. We didn't get off its line. We could have won this thing.
Yeah.
That is the singular focus, and I think Joe Burrow is so focused on that and so driven on that
Mm.
that it's changed everything. And if you can change the direction of the way Mike Brown thinks, That's unbelievable. And I think that's what Joe Burrow has done for this organization. That's what we have
Jeff,
to look forward to.
Jeff, you are an absolute always a pleasure to have on here, man. I really appreciate it. I wish we can go longer.
I like the hat, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Definitely wearing my Jackpot Joey hat,
Yes,
which
sir.
I got from Jeff, which was
Yes, sir.
great. But anyway, Jeff, tell all the people where they can find you and what you're doing in the off season.
Absolutely. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I go live on my YouTube channel, Sports with Strawberry Ice, every single day, Monday through Friday at 5:30. Unless I go down to the Bengals and watch them come home like I did yesterday, and I just live stream. So that's why I tell everybody, make sure you subscribe because I might go live sometimes. You don't know, but I am live every single day, Monday through Friday at 5:30. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, everything. Josh, always a pleasure. Let's go watch the Bearcats.
Let's do that, Jeff. Again, thank you so much for coming on, and a big solid who day to you, and
Who day, bro?
and a hell of a season. So,
Absolutely.
that being said, Jeff again at Jeff H Trendable on Twitter. Again, excuse me, Cincinnati Sports with Strawberry Ice on podcast, pretty much wherever you can find a podcast. Go look it
Pretty
up.
much.
Great podcast. We had a great conversation a little bit earlier. Got into a little bit of a fight, but it was it's all for love.
It's all love, man. We love our team. We're passionate.
It's been a long season. It's been a long season. So anyway, let's get to a little bit of an announcement here. So last year, when the season was over, I pretty much took maybe a week or two, and then I was done. That is not going to happen this year. We are going to go completely through the entire year this year. We're going to still keep going Tuesday, Thursday. But here's the fun thing. It's not going to just all be Bengals. We have Bearcats basketball. We have Xavier basketball. We have the Reds to talk about. We got other sports.
Reds aren't playing right now.
Well, we got lockout to talk
Okay.
talk about. We just news. When eventually they come back, which is ridiculous. And then we'll talk about that. Golf. We'll get a little bit more into gambling. We'll have a lot of fun. So the Back Row Bengals train still continues, and we're still going to try to get as many great guests as we can as possible, but none greater than Strawberry Ice. Strawberry, again, thanks for coming on, buddy.
No problem, Josh. Always appreciate it, brother. Who day?
Who day. This has been the Back Row Cincinnati Bengals show, all brought to you by fansided.com. Go over there, read my blogs. I have a brand new one out talking about how Jamar Chase is the best receiver, is the best receiver in Bengals history. Thank you all again for a great season. Thank you all again for great numbers, and it's been nothing but great times. So I appreciate all you. Who day. I'll see you on Thursday.